Hey everyone, I'm David, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to continue in Isaiah chapters 5 through 8. Now, there's a lot in these chapters, so I'm just going to hit some of the key points that show us God's heart for his people, his righteous judgment, and ultimately his enduring hope. Let's start in Isaiah chapter 5, often called the Song of the Vineyard. Here, God describes Israel as a carefully planted, beloved vineyard. He did everything right. He tilled the soil, he cleared the stones, he planted the choicest vines. He expected good grapes, but what did it yield? Wild grapes. This is a metaphor for Israel's disobedience and spiritual fruitlessness. God poured out his grace, his law, his prophets, but the people turned to injustice, oppression, and idol worship. The woes in this chapter, and there are 6 of them, starting around verse 8, they lay out the consequences of their covetousness, their drunkenness, their pride, and their twisted morality. They may be a warning in this time when they were written, but they're equally applicable to us in our time today. They're actually timeless principles about the dangers of straying away from God's ways. Moving into Isaiah chapter 6, we encounter one of the most magnificent and awe-inspiring passages in all of Scripture, Isaiah's vision of the Lord's temple. Imagine seeing God enthroned, high and lifted up, his train filling the temple, seraphim crying out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts." In this moment of overwhelming holiness, Isaiah's natural response is one of humility and a conviction of his sin. He cries out, "Woe is me, for I am lost, for I am a man of unclean lips." But a seraph, he touches a hot coal to his lips, symbolizing cleansing and atonement. This radical encounter leads Isaiah to his commission. Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And Isaiah's immediate response, "Here I am, send me." This chapter reminds us that true worship leads to humble service. And despite our brokenness, God can cleanse us and use us for his purpose. Now let's move on to Isaiah chapter 7 and 8. The political climate is pretty tense at this time. Syria and Ephraim, well, they're threatening Judah. And King Ahaz, he's just plain terrified. God, through Isaiah, offers Ahaz a sign. Literally any sign he wants to demonstrate his faithfulness. But Ahaz, his pride and his lack of faith, he refuses. He's claiming he won't put the Lord to the test. And because of Ahaz's unbelief, God gives a sign anyway, a prophetic one at that, which echoes throughout all history. Therefore the Lord himself will give a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and he shall be called by his name Immanuel. Immanuel, God with us. While this has an immediate fulfillment in Isaiah's time, its ultimate and most profound fulfillment is in the birth of Jesus Christ. This verse is the cornerstone of Christian prophecy. Chapter 8 continues in this theme. It's describing the coming Assyrian invasion as a flood, a consequence of Judah's rejection of God's gentle leading. But amidst the darkness and the fear, the chapter ends with a glimmer of hope, foreshadowing a future of light in the land of Galilee. Another prophetic nod to the coming Messiah. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. A verse that Matthew will write later applies directly to Jesus. So what are the key takeaways from Isaiah 5 through 8? Well, 1, God's expectation of fruitfulness. He invests in us, and he expects a return of righteousness and not rebellion. Number 2, the holiness of God. Encountering God transforms us and calls us to confession and to service. Number 3, the faithfulness amidst unbelief. Even when we lack faith, God promises to stand firm, culminating in the ultimate sign of Immanuel, God with us. And number 4, hope in darkness. Despite judgment and impending doom, there's always the promise of light and redemption through the Messiah. These chapters remind us that God is both just and merciful. He calls us to account, but he also proves the ultimate solution for our sin and our darkness is Jesus, our Immanuel. So thanks so much for watching today. And if you found this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, And let me know in the comments what stood out to you from Isaiah 5 through 8 today. Remember to join us here tomorrow, and I'll see you on the next one.